How's it going, guys? My name is Pagona and welcome back to another episode of my upcoming game series. And today we're going to talk about a game that I haven't seen anyone really talk about, and it's a game that I've been following for a little while now. And it's a game called Stone Rage. Now, the concept of this game has been going backwards and forwards for a little while now. From what I can see, it's always been a game set in the Pleistocene, I think. The Pleistocene era, I could be wrong. It's a prehistoric landscape, and you basically, it's not dinosaurs, it's more like the Ice Age, woolly mammoths, that sort of stuff. And you run around as a caveman or a cavewoman, and it's just a survival game. And if I'm being honest, I am surprised this hasn't got more attention. I really am. The game looks stunning, it really does. And all of the information that I'm getting right now is coming from the Steam page and their website. So I'll post links to that in the description. So if you want to go and check it out yourself, you can. But we may as well jump into it. So on Steam, they've got a very brief summary of what the game is. So I'm going to read that out now, because it is slightly different to the website. Stone Rage is an online third-person multiplayer survival PC game. That's a mouthful. Set within the Pleistocene era. I don't know how to pronounce that, but there you go. Players will find friends and create enemies as they struggle for survival through a prehistoric landscape filled with dangerous animals, scarce resources, and a harsh climate. So it's going to be very similar to Ark in terms of, trying to survive with climate, resources, and dangerous animals. Scavenge for materials to craft strong or cunning weapons, perfect for securing your next meal or to raid your enemies with. Travel north into the mountains to collect rare obsidian and create a spear powerful enough to take down a mighty mammoth. However, be sure to create warm enough clothes and homes to survive the cold winters, or else you'll be forced to migrate back south before you freeze. Choose to play as a human, Neanderthal, or even one of the many animal classes as you explore the world of Stone Rage to forge your own path to survival. Now there's something I've actually never seen before, the very bottom sentence. I personally thought you were constantly playing as a Neanderthal, but apparently you can play as a human or even an animal class, which is awesome. That's just made the game 10 times better. It really has. I can't wait to run around as a saber-toothed tiger or something. It's going to be so fun. But on the Steam page, there are a bunch of images, a couple of videos, and again, it just looks stunning. It really does. It's a very good looking game. But if we head on over to the website, they've got a very brief description as well, more of a theatrical description. With the cold encroaching upon the lands of the West, valleys once plethoric with game and forage flora, this is so difficult to read, have begun to see harsh and unwelcome changes. Leaves and grasses die in frost, and with their destruction comes the starved demise of fauna, and with them follows the dwindling of the native tribes. Anger, food, stone, and fire are all they have left to cling to, and with their weapons, tools, and bitter desperation, yeah, that's them, they set towards the rising sun in search of warmer lands. Such was the story for many thousands of tribes, and in their wandering migration there begun countless battles over people, shelter, food, and territory. So that's more of a theatrical description of the game. From the looks of it, it's going to be all about migrating and survival, which is very interesting because survival is something that's been done a lot, especially lately, but migrating has never really been done. The only other game that I know of that has anything to do with migration is the Isle. I believe the Isle is going to have a lot of migrating herbivores and such, which is going to be pretty cool as well. But if we scroll down a bit more, you've got the general Steam about description thing. And a little bit lower, it talks about the different features of the game, I guess. So next to it, there's an image of all the different, resources and stuff, if I load that up. Yeah, from the looks of it, you've got rope, backpacks, berries, meat, stuff like that. All of it looking pretty cool if I might say so myself. But next to that, we've got 3 different bullet points, I guess you could call them. The first one is talking about the open world map. Now, I don't know how big the Ark open world map is. I'm trying to think. I swear it's like 50 kilometers. I can't quite put my finger on it. I could be wrong. But this one's going to be 64 square kilometers in 4 different biomes to explore. So the fact that it's 64 square kilometers is insane. It is a huge map. It really is. But it's also got 4 different biomes. It doesn't actually say what those biomes are. I'm guessing it's going to be something like, I don't know, jungle, snow, mountains, and plains, or something like that. I don't know. But it's a huge map. It really is a huge map, and it's going to be impressive to see it all come together, because the game looks stunning. So I'm curious to see how they go about doing that. The second bullet point is about the species. Play as a Cro-Magnon, don't know what that is, a Neanderthal, or even as an animal such as the mammoth, saber-tooth, Kelenken, entelodont, or cave bear. Ooh, Kelenken. I'd like to play as a big terror bird. That should be fun. I don't think any game's ever allowed that. Oh, I can't think of any. But being able to play as animals, that's made this game so much better. I can't wait for this game. I want it now. Now. So that's the second bullet point. And the third and final bullet point is crafting and building. As with all survival games, players will be able to craft a variety of items, from tools to clothes to weapons and more, from materials that they're able to gather in the world. So pretty much like any other survival game, you get to gather your resources, craft materials and stuff, and that's going to be pretty good. And from the looks of this little diagram here, hopefully it's up on the screen right now. I don't know, I could be wrong. It is looking very cool. It is looking very, very cool indeed. But yeah, I mean, that's really all there is on their website. They've got a couple of blog posts, an FAQ. So if I go to that, the current game engine is Unreal Engine 4. From my personal experience, Unreal Engine 4 is easily the best engine out there right now for games. Originally they were using CryEngine. I think that was purely for the graphics. If I'm being honest, most people do go to it for graphics. But the fact that they've moved over to Unreal Engine 4 proves that they want to improve graphics and improve, I guess, productivity and all of that stuff. And it's going to be good to see. It's going to be good to see. It's estimated that a playable demo version of the game will be available in the first quarter of 2016. So, I don't know what that counts as. I think it's January to April. Maybe January to March. I don't know. One of those two. I'm going to guess it's around March time. I could be wrong, but keep that in mind. Obviously, because it's already on Steam Greenlight, I don't know if it's actually been greenlit. I don't know. Can't quite tell. I have no idea. Either way, it's going to be on Steam. At the moment, it's only going to be digital copies. There won't be any retail copies in stores as of right now. And the game's going to be about 15 to 20 euros on Steam. I don't see any plans for Kickstarters or anything like that. I think this is just going to be a game for release, which is pretty cool to see. That way, there's no technical, I guess there is to some extent, but there's no a lower chance of failure, if that makes sense. The game is currently going to be multiplayer only, but I'm sure at some point or other they will add local matches or something. I don't know, but multiplayer does sound like this sort of game. Kind of like Ark and Isle and stuff like that. That's really it. I mean, they talk about the different factions and stuff. According to them, human classes has a completely different personality from the Neanderthal tribe, and they use different techniques and equipment to fight. So I'm guessing humans will be a little bit more sophisticated, but you also got to remember that humans, compared to Neanderthals, are quite weak. So I'm sure in a fist-to-fist or hand-to-hand combat fight, humans are going to probably lose. But if your human obviously gets a gun or something like that, Neanderthal tribe probably won't do too well unless they've got something to fight back with, like a bow and arrow or a spear or something. Even then, they're kind of a little bit uneven in terms of teams. But that's really all that's on their FAQ. They've got a huge blog post regarding Unreal Engine, as well as a really awesome video. I think that video is actually in CryEngine still. I could be wrong, but they kind of explain why they're going to swap from CryEngine to Unreal Engine. It is all about, the fact that they're unable to learn CryEngine's animation system because of poor documentation, not programmer friendly, stuff like that. So they're moving to a more user friendly piece of software. So, And really, the last blog post talks about them going open world. And in that blog post, there is a nice bit of concept art of what appears to be a big open plains with a river and some mountains in the background. It looks really, really cool. It really does. That concept art is kind of an odd style, really, but it looks nice. It really does look nice. And underneath that, you've got pictures of what appears to be, I don't think they're models, appears to be weapons of sorts. So you've got things like axes, like maces and big clubs with spikes on. You've got swords and daggers. You've got axes. You've got hammers. Don't know what that is. I think that's more of a mace than anything. You've got sticks with skulls on, which is pretty cool. You've got what appears to be like a dream catcher type thing on the end of a stick. I've seen a lot of tribes have that sort of stuff, but that's not necessarily a weapon. That's more of a kind of like a walking stick for normally quite high members of a tribe. So I don't know what that's doing there. And the same thing goes with the others. Like there's a stick that's got like a half moon end with a skull in the middle, which is pretty cool. So I'm curious to see what that's for. But again, you've got like scythes and stuff. You've got daggers again. You've got huge sticks with long, sharp pieces of rock or metal or something like that on, which is pretty cool. One that looks like a rocket launcher. I don't think that's the case, but I don't know. Bow and arrows, of course. You've got different types of arrowheads. You've got bone and what appears to be rock, and slingshots. And spears. Obviously spears. So there's a huge collection. And you've also got shields in the center, which is pretty cool as well. Got like wood shields, and I don't know what that is. It's like a brownie color, so I'm guessing it's like leather, like a leather shield. You got a rib cage and stuff like that. It is a really cool looking selection of weapons and shields and stuff. So I'm excited to see what it looks like, or what it translates to in game. So that should be quite fun. The next, is that right? I don't know. I'm losing things. There we go. The next image shows a bunch of the different customization options. So let's go from left to right. We'll go from top to bottom, I guess. So at the very top, you've got things like... No, let's go left to right. You've basically just got clothing, really. You've got big kind of robe type things, making the people look very woolly and Neanderthal-ish. You've got like very, very poor clothing options, really, if you think about it in terms of weather. You've got the base, you've got like big kind of cloths draped over people, and then you've got more kind of tailored leather looking stuff which fits the body a little bit better. I'm guessing each of them will have different warmth purposes and different maybe even maneuverability purposes. You know, a lot of these look quite thick and difficult to move in, whereas some of them are quite slim and fitting. Then you've got everything from long trousers to a very short kind of diaperish type look. So obviously the diaperish one will give you less warmth, whereas the trousers will give you more. And then you've also got like the underwear type stuff. You've got what appears to be, I'm just going to go out and guess because it tends to be the case, but you've got like a woman's one where it just goes around the breast area, and that's really it. I'm guessing that'll be what you start off in. Next up, you've got like gloves, which is pretty cool. Gloves and shoes. It is a matter of like, you've got ankle warmers, you've got very, very rough cut shoes, like hide wrapped around your feet. Your toes are kind of sticking out, so that's not going to help too much. And then you've got big fluffy boots, which is pretty cool to see. And same thing goes with the gloves. You've got some gloves where they're kind of what appears to be, I guess, fingerless. And then you've got big mittens. Again, difference is you probably won't be able to pull a bow and arrow back properly with mittens, but you will be able to with fingerless gloves. Again, I'm guessing that's preference and maneuverability purposes and stuff like that. But then you've got something I wouldn't expect to see. You've got different types of, I don't know what they're called. Arrow holders. That's the best thing. Arrow sacks, I guess would be the best way to put it. So you've got what appears to be, on the right, a kind of like a woven arrow basket, which is quite cool. Then you've got like a hide one with some fur on the very top. Again, very kind of a classic look. But then you've got something that I think is really interesting. It looks to be some kind of rabbit or a fox that's literally just been skinned. Everything inside has been taken out and they've just stuck arrows in. I'm kind of surprised to see that. But again, it does show the huge amount of customization in this game. It does look really cool. It really does. I'm kind of excited for it now. I've always been excited for it, but I'm really excited for it now. Especially with the animals. God, I can't wait for animals. But again, moving on, you've got different haircuts. Now, I don't know whether or not you'll be able to get haircuts in this game. I haven't got a clue. But I'm guessing you're about to customize your character at the very start of the game. And you've got beards. You've got really big kind of unkept beards, but you've got quite small beards. You've got long dreadlocky hair. You've got short dreadlocky hair. You've got all this sort of different type of hairstyles. You've also got some hats as well, some caps. You've got one that kind of fits like Captain America. You've also got one that kind of doesn't cover your face at all, and you've got one that doesn't drape down the side of your face either. Quite interesting to see. You've got some masks, some feathers that you kind of put around your ears to keep them warm. I don't know. And same with the women. I'm guessing that's a woman's one. I could be wrong. It's a different kind of colour. I don't know. But it's like a hood, which is pretty cool to see as well. Again, loads of different hairstyles for the women as well. So all in all, a huge amount of customization. And I'm guessing that's not it. I'm guessing there is more to it as well. But still, pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see. And finally, you've got things... I guess these are more accessories than anything. You've got earrings. You've got like a neckerchief type thing. You've got necklaces made of bones and skulls. Earrings, again, made from bones. You've got face paint, which is pretty cool to see. And you've got masks. Unless it's face paint. It could be face paint. I could be wrong. It looks like a mask. I don't know. Things like face paint and stuff. Again, showing the huge amount of customization. So I'm very excited to see all of this stuff in-game. And the final image is, I think, just a larger version of what we saw earlier. It just looks to be all of the crafting options. You've got things like leaves and I'm guessing things like thatch and fibre, wood, rocks, stone, quartz or something. I don't know what that is. Obsidian, I think it might be. Some sort of brick. Leather or hide, bone, antlers, teeth, tusk. Don't know what that is. Meat, fish, meat. Some fruit, some vegetables, some seeds, some berries. Pretty cool to see. Some sugar, I'm guessing that is. I don't know, I guess arrowheads or something. Some bags, which are also very cool to see. I'm guessing you can upgrade your bag to something a bit bigger so you can carry more. I don't know. Toilet roll or paper. I don't know. It could be either, really. But yeah, there is a huge selection of different things here. And I'm guessing this isn't just it. Because there's no like proper housing type stuff. There's no TPs and whatnot. Looks to be a fire pit at the bottom. Some walls, brick walls, wood walls. Very basic fence. Spiked walls. What looks to be a leather tanner or a hide tanner. Because it kind of holds the hide out, and I'm guessing the sun will just tan it. I could be wrong, but I think that's quite interesting to see, actually. Adds another level of another level of detail for the crafting. But then you got things like rope and water bowls. So again, really, really cool to see all this stuff. I think it's all concept art. I don't think any of this stuff is modeled right now, but I can't wait to see what it looks like in game. I really can't. But the final thing I'm really going to talk about is the open world. Now, I'm going to read off the page here. So if you want to follow along, you can. If you want to stop recording and read it yourself, you can. Not recording, playing the video. That's the thing. But I'm going to read off the page purely because I haven't read this yet. And I'm kind of curious to see what it says. So it says, Stone Rage goes open world. Hello to all fans and followers. Since switching to Unreal Engine 4, Stone Rage has received a large overhaul in terms of design decision and overall vision. Originally created as a free-to-play arena-based fighter, Stone Rage has now become a pay-to-play open-world survival game. Many of the core elements of the original idea still remain present, though this switch in direction, such as playable human, Neanderthal, and animal characters, a slew of Never heard that before. A slew of Stone Age weapons and tools to choose from, and multiple classes to play as, each with their distinct styles of play. Instead of simply worrying about who is friend and who is foe, players will also need to battle the elements of the world, the dangerous wildlife, and even their own needs in order to survive the brutal Stone Age world. One previously mentioned aspect of the Stone Age that will not survive the switch is the multiple map types, which have instead been combined into one giant continent for survivalists to play on. This large new world is segmented into different biomes like forests, mountains, desert, and swamp, and other areas which draw heavily from the previously segmented map types. So, going back to the biomes, I'm surprised, but I guess mountains aren't really biomes. So, forest, okay, mountains, yeah. What did I say? Plains and snow. Forest, mountains, desert, swamp. I'm kind of curious to see what desert and swamp look like. I've seen kind of the forest and I've seen the mountains. So, yeah, desert and swamp should be cool. A little bit further down it says, don't worry too much about customization as this is still a core idea of Stone Rage. Colouring clothes, customizing items, and even making your own haircuts are just some of the features that will still be available for an open world Switch. I've seriously got some hiccups coming. God. Even more so than customization, items and craftables have come to the forefront as an important game element for survival now. Different biomes within the world will house different kinds of natural resources, such as flint, fibre, mud, and a variety of foods and wildlife. Players may find it easy to craft their first axe from flint, branches, and rope, but travelling north into the mountains to obtain obsidian for a stronger will prove much more challenging. While this all may seem to be a big switch from the previous direction of Stone Rage, we believe that this new direction accurately reflects the core idea of the Stone Age, survival. So again, it is purely about survival, open world, and customization, and I can't wait to see this game just succeed. I can't wait. I really want it to succeed. Hopefully throughout this video you've seen all these different images and videos and such. There isn't too much released in terms of images as of right now. It's a nice selection, so hopefully you've seen enough. And yeah, again, links are in the description. Go and check this game out, go and help it, join the forum, talk to them on Steam or the forum, do whatever, and follow the Facebook page. Apart from that, that's really all I've got to say about this game. It's a short upcoming game video, but it's short and sweet, and it's a game that hasn't really been advertised, and I hope you guys enjoy the game, the video, and everything in between. So I can't wait to talk to you guys in the next video about the next game. But for now, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all, once again, next time. See ya.